Hey everybody, welcome back to Friday with Dannphan, the best time of the week for many people out there. I hope you did enjoy the Drawing with Dannphan stream that we did earlier in the week. I believe we did that Tuesday, although there was no video on Wednesday. Sorry. Sometimes it happens, guys. Sometimes there's just not enough time to get stuff done. I'm working on new videos though. I definitely have plenty of ideas for those new videos. There's no it's not like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for content or anything. It's just the amount of time that it takes to get done a video is always going to be holding a lot of creators back. And you know, furthermore, YouTube has been quite mean recently when it comes to recommending channels or just showing subscribers when a channel has uploaded. So do make sure that if you are subscribed, you check your subscriptions. There is a specific tab for just looking at videos from specifically your people that you are subscribed to. I'd recommend always just browsing through that tab, and you'll probably have a much easier time finding my videos through there. On the YouTube app, practically all I do is browse through the subscriptions tab on there. It's much easier, I think, to go through subscriptions on the app than it is for the YouTube website. I don't know, it's just like the scrolling mentality. It just looks better on the YouTube app screen, and I can see what a lot of people I'm subscribed to are posting pretty easily. So there's that. You know, just keep that in mind. If you ever feel like, man, Dannphan hasn't uploaded in a really long time, chances are you just need to scroll through your subscriptions feed and you'll probably find me there. Unless I'm being muted through there. But I don't think YouTube does that. I think it's just a matter of what they recommend on the home page tends to be really sporadic and not usually from your subscriptions, because they always want to be recommending you new content, even if it's not content that you care about, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, hit the bell, all uploads. Yes, you can also hit the bell, of course. Although I don't know how effective the bell is. I've heard different tales about how effective the bell tends to be, so I don't know. Yeah, you're right about the subscriptions thing. Almost didn't find Colfan's video on Dustman from Mega Man 4 today. Shaking my head. I know, right? The big thing about YouTube's new algorithm, and I know that it's going to change again, and it may very well change for the worse, based on things that I've been hearing, but the thing about it is, as soon as you watch like 2 videos on a particular topic, just 2, that's all that's needed, you will be completely flooded with that one topic on your homepage for days. You need to spend days not clicking on that topic again for those video recommendations to go away. And until then, YouTube's just going to keep on hitting you like, oh, you were mildly interested in this one news topic? Here's 40 other channels covering the same news. And it's like, ah, man, I already know everything, though. There's nothing else to learn about this particular topic. I know everything, YouTube. I've already satisfied my urge to watch a video about this thing. I'm done now. Stop it. Does the not interested not work? Not really. Not really. I mean, like, if I click not interested on a video, I won't see that particular video anymore, but I'll still see videos based on that topic. And I think that's kind of how the not interested thing is supposed to work, is that you're not going to get recommended a channel or a specific video, but they will still algorithm-based, make it algorithm-based what topics they're recommending you. I brought some water up today. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm a little bit wired, feeling good. As you can imagine, when you're wired on caffeine, everything just kind of looks up in the world. Yeah, if all else fails, remember to bookmark the channel. Also good point. Yes. It's whatever. I get it. I get what YouTube is trying to do with always constantly recommending the same topic, but sometimes I want to see other types of videos, you know? Most of the time I want to see other types of videos. I'm just saying. And that's part of the reason why people need to cover trends these days to actually be successful as a YouTuber. Because if you're not covering the latest trend, chances are your video is not getting recommended. Because you're gonna be only shown to people who have watched more than one video on that particular trend. Anyway, another thing that's funny with the algorithm is that Indiegogo is not quite doing its best at showcasing my campaign on their comics page. So make sure that you do check it out. There is a link in the description, but of course, I'll post a link in the chat. I know that clicking show description is a big hassle. I'll be a good girl and I'll put it right in the chat so that you can see it. We're doing pretty okay right now. We're a little over, like halfway through to the goal, and we still have 31 days left. So, of course the goal is flexible. It is preferable that I reach the goal. It's a pretty modest goal considering how thick the book is, but it'd be nice to get paid something for doing a very ambitious comic project like this. So if you are interested, please do check it out. Give it a shot. Give it a fair chance. That's all I ask of you. Can you release one of your books as an audiobook? No, because it's a comic. I mean, also, I've heard many complaints from Audible, so I'm not sure if I would trust going to a separate service as opposed to just uploading it on my own website where I sell things directly. Seems certain IGG stuff I'm looking into isn't quite getting the reach. Not sure if Reaper's really affected, however something like Human Shield isn't. Yeah, you know what it is? I don't know if I showed this like briefly on my other stream this week, the Drawing with Dannphan, that was the one. And basically you go to the comics section. I still have like 31 days on this campaign, but like on day 2 basically I was completely erased from the comics section. I can't find it anymore. And I don't think I'm doing that poorly in sales that I wouldn't be even featured on the comics section of Indiegogo, but you can like scroll forever. This has ended like years ago. I don't know why this still shows up, but fucking there it is. And you can scroll forever and ever. You will never find Reaper. I've been unsuccessful scrolling on the Indiegogo comics section for ages. I can do this for ages and ages, constantly just hitting show more over and over again. Reaper will never come up. Like a bunch of these campaigns that are already ended will come up. Like these, right? I can't find Reaper. It's still funding. Like, look, this ended, and this has... Sorry, I know that probably made a big noise. I'll have to fix my setup at some point, but this ended, and there's already like a second campaign that's funding for this, but the ended version of the campaign comes up before the ongoing version. It's like, this is just awful organization on Indiegogo's part. I don't know what's wrong with their algorithm or why it's doing this. Where's the other? Did I pass the other version already? You'll never find it, Reaper. You have to search it in order to actually find it. I mean, I know I have somewhat of a generic comic title here, but come on. There's no way it's like, it should be buried this deep. I considered doing like a YouTube short, like titled, How Long Can I Scroll on Indiegogo Until I Finally Find My Campaign? But I think it would take more than a minute. I think it would probably take an hour based on this, right? Just forever and ever and ever. All these campaigns are ended, by the way. They're all ended. And they still come up before mine that is currently ongoing. Over and over and over and over and over. Okay. You know. You get it. It's very difficult now. I don't know why, but that's how it is. That means you're probably getting unintentionally buried. You probably didn't kiss someone's rind. Well, I didn't do anything that crazy. It's not a crazy series or anything. Like, this is very, in my opinion anyway, I mean, I guess there is a bit of violence on the page, but I don't think this is so violent that it deserves like an 18 plus rating and should be buried on Indiegogo or anything. It's just blood. I suppose beheadings maybe are not up to Indiegogo standards, but they also have like some weird like sexual comics that are not being buried as poorly as Reaper is. I don't know who to blame for this, really. But like I was saying during the Drawing with Dannphan stream, going through this much burying for a campaign that is pretty mild, in my opinion. I mean, O-Girl didn't even get buried this badly. And that deserved to be buried, if we're being honest here. That one kind of deserved it. It was pretty saucy, right? But that didn't get buried like this. Reaper, a dark fantasy comic that is pretty tame, pretty teen safe, is not anywhere on the comic section of Indiegogo. You have to search it, or it will not come up. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I know that some people have been saying that Indiegogo is just not the platform that it used to be. Unfortunately, now was the time that I decided to do this campaign on Indiegogo, and I just wasn't aware that it was this big of a problem. So I don't think I'll be returning to Indiegogo if it's going to be treating my campaigns like this, honestly. Because it's not really quite fair. Have you contacted their support? Because this really looks like a bug of some sort. I mean, I've seen other people's projects be getting buried. Like, I'm pretty sure Fiendish was also something being funded on Indiegogo. It's being funded on multiple platforms, I think. But I think one of them was on Indiegogo, and I can't find that either. I don't know what's going on. But somewhere, somehow, Indiegogo is absolutely fucking up. And whatever algorithm thing they have for showing people comics in the comic section of funding campaigns, this is not working. You are not actually showing comics that are currently being funded. You have all of these, like, ended campaigns before you're actually showing current comics that are funded. That's not smart. Who decided that was a good idea? I mean, I'll never find Reaper on here. I know it, because I never have. I've scrolled through this page a million times, and I've gotten so far down the barrel, I've never found Reaper on here. Now, let me just scroll all the way up to the top. Now, I will say, like, if I search it, right, it'll show up. But I have to search it. And, you know, it's still funding. Even these comics that are also beside it, they're funding in demand. Which, you know, is not as, like, back it now type of priority. But they should be featured too. I don't see these comics either. It's just such a pain, you know? It's just exhausting. I'm really disappointed. And, I feel like I'm not gonna really get a good idea of who actually wants the comic. Because whatever they're doing is obviously throttling the campaign. If it doesn't actually show on the Indiegogo comic section, there is nobody who will find it just by browsing through the comic section. Which is a shame. It's a shame, yeah. Because, you know, I'm essentially only selling directly. It's only people who already know me, who already know that I'm doing a campaign, who will find this through the link, which I will post again into the chat. But only you guys will even know that this campaign is going on. Everybody else who's just browsing through Indiegogo looking for something new to find, to read, they're not going to see it. And I don't know why. I'm not given a reason here. I don't think my comic is as saucy as other comics that are on the first page of the comic section in Indiegogo. It's not for me to say why, or if they're intentionally doing it because I'm a spicy creator. I don't think I'm very spicy, but I mean, I created like one spicy comic, and I did 2 issues of that. That was it. That was it. Everything else has been like very tame from me. And I don't think I'll go back to doing spicy comics like that anymore. But whatever. Yeah, it's like I guess they just don't want any money. Oh well. On the bright side, I can always sell it on my website. It's just a shame because I don't really actually know how many copies should be printed. One of the good things about these campaigns is that you get a general idea of how many people are actually interested in it. It's kind of like pre-orders, right? And I feel like I don't have a real idea of how many people are actually interested in it. Because nobody's actually finding it. So, you know. Anyway, that's that. I got to rant about that, so I guess I'm done ranting about that. But Sonic City Witch, I'll probably just do a page on my website, just do a pre-order page, and that'll be fine. I don't see really any reason to go to Indiegogo when they're not going to do the bare minimum of promoting an ongoing campaign by just having it show up in the comic section. That's all they had to do. I'm doing everything else. All they had to do was show it. Show that it existed. That was it. Apparently that's too much. Too much work. That's fine. That's fine. I don't need to give them their percentage. I can just do everything on my website. Oh well. I don't know if Kickstarter is much better, but I do know plenty of creators who have left Indiegogo to go to Kickstarter or to go to the new one, which is Fund My Comic. Obviously, it fully focuses on just funding comic books. That one is not nearly as popular as Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but it is an option, especially for people who don't want to support Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So, yeah. It's especially odd that they show past campaigns at the top of the page. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I shared Reaper on Facebook and told my friends because they love comics too. Thank you, Yeshua. That means genuinely a lot, because sharing stuff is how you actually create a fandom for something. Is when you, I mean, like, part of the reason why people say that piracy is what makes a certain IP extremely popular. Part of that whole theory is the idea that it would be easily shareable. But really, it's just the ability to share something and to let people know about something that makes an IP popular and makes it have an actual fandom. Kickstarter is probably more volatile due to its biases against certain comic creators that do YouTube content. I have heard that before. I do know that a lot of people got fired from Kickstarter since they had the banning problem. I don't know if it's still a big problem, but, you know. Better off just doing pre-orders on your website next time? Yeah, I figure. Because the only reason I was going to Indiegogo is because there were other people on there who could discover me. And now that doesn't seem possible at all. It doesn't seem like anyone will discover me on Indiegogo because I'm not even showing up. And, you know, obviously that's such a huge shame, but I'm not gonna let it get me down exactly. I will say, looking at Kickstarter page, you go to the comics section, right? Projects on Earth sorted by magic. That's really stupid. But you go to the comics section, and you do see Von Klaus's comic coming up. So at least they're not shadow banning him, right? I wonder if that comic is also on Indiegogo and I can't find it. Absolutely ridiculous. Now I'm just like wondering what comics are actually being funded on Indiegogo and I just don't know about it because I didn't see them. Because there could be an endless amount that I genuinely just don't know about unless I see it on Twitter. Basically, the only reason why I know about a lot of comics being funded is because I've seen it on Twitter, and not actually because I've seen it on Indiegogo. Although I do occasionally browse the Indiegogo page to look for new comics to back, because I like supporting indie creators. Believe it or not. But yeah, huge bummer. Huge bummer. I guess another bummer, so long as we're getting the bummer stuff out of the way. Someone added me on Twitter and asked me if I would do a video on Akira Toriyama's passing. And I gotta be very genuine with you guys. It is very upsetting to hear that. I know that he was a very hard worker and he died too young. Not that he was very young, but too young for someone to leave us, you know? Like, when I die, I want to be super old, surrounded by people I love, you know, the whole shebang. But he was in his 60s, I believe. And, you know, I think he should have still had a few more years on him, at least. That's a shame. And I won't sit here and lie to you and say that I'm some big Dragon Ball Z fan. It's not really my thing. I'm obviously not a young boy. Not that I hate Dragon Ball Z or anything like that. I'm not a hater either. I'm just very indifferent to it. But I can still see that there's a lot of effort put into the craft. And obviously he worked very hard to get to where he was. And a lot of people see his story and are very inspired by it. So it's hitting people in a lot of the feels. I can't really make a whole video talking about the passing because I'm not going to give one of those speeches where I know all this information about Dragon Ball or know all this information about his life. But I can recommend to you a documentary done by another YouTuber who I've watched many documentaries that he's done. He's a very small channel, all things considered, but I think that his documentary videos are pretty good. He has some audio issues in some of them, but he does do a very decent amount of research, and I do actually really love watching documentaries on manga creators, if they exist. Because, like I said, it's difficult doing research on a country that you don't speak the language or don't live in. It's difficult to find a lot of details about these mangakas that is being translated into English for us to understand over here. So I really love listening to these documentaries, and I feel like you might like them too. If you would like to kind of know a little bit about Akira Toriyama's story, I'd recommend this guy, which I'll post in the chat. Hopefully it shows up. I think when I post links in the chat, they always show up, right? Or moderators and me. I think that's the case. So hopefully you can see those links. But yeah, I do enjoy this channel. I hope he does more of these documentary type videos. I'm really into the idea of a whole YouTube channel specifically dedicated to these documentary type videos on manga creators. Although I know that it's very difficult to make a channel like that work because it takes a lot of research, a lot of time to edit everything and get it out there with such high quality. I get it. YouTube promotes fast uploading, like uploading multiple times a day or stuff like that. So these types of slowly made videos are not going to be kicking off as much as they should. But I really enjoy documentary style videos on mangaka creators. They're very inspiring, and I would recommend them to many, many people. So yeah. There's a little shout out to another YouTube channel. He's a small channel, but it's pretty well done, pretty well researched. I enjoyed it, and I did find it inspiring, even though I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z fan or anything. I really like hearing people's stories. Part of the reason why I want to do the Comic Talk Tuesdays and do interviews with other comic creators and mangakas out there, because I really love hearing people's stories. It's fascinating and it's inspiring. I enjoy it. All right. Now that we're done on that, thank you for the $10 mark. Comic money. I'm late. That's okay. I was actually considering trying to do these Fridays with Dannphan streams, maybe an hour and a half later, maybe more like a 6 o'clock stream. I believe that's what I did for the Drawing with Dannphan stream. I think I went for 6 o'clock on that one. And if you guys are okay with that or have any preference on that, I can definitely start doing the Fridays with Dannphan later. I don't know if some people will be asleep at that time and upset because they won't make it in time to actually watch. Who knows? Sometimes there's actually more people in the chat when it's a little later. So it really depends on the different people, different time zones that they're in. But if this time works out for you, I can keep it on the 4:30. Also, hey Ray Dillon. Welcome to chat. Renee's gonna try to make it to cool. If you have the money, it makes it easier. People pay researchers to do the research for them. Yes. Although, if you do actually speak the language, you can do the research yourself, because you can, go on your VPN and actually go to the websites where there's information on this stuff. You can reach out to specific people directly and ask them for information on this stuff. Stuff like that. But I'm not really capable of doing that myself. It takes a lot of effort. How's everything going? Yeah, everything's going okay, Reaper of Crows. Hey, Reaper. You know what that reminds me of? My campaign that's still live on Indiegogo back at today. We're almost to our goal. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of shoehorning it, but you know how it is. Hard to catch you live these days. But is that because it's too early or it's too late? Is it too late? Should I keep it at this 4:30 time slot, or should I push it push it further down a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? Can you do Fridays with Dannphan all day? I don't know if I'm that good or capable at doing a 24-hour stream. I struggle a little bit with just doing like the hour or the 2-hour streams. And during Game Fans, those are the other gaming streams that we do, we go for much longer, more like 2 or 3 hours, sometimes even 4 hours. And I start dying at the end of those streams. So, you know. I don't mind showing up then, though I often mod for another channel on Tuesdays. That's fair. I can always promote some other people to mods. 6 could work. If you can get some bigger indie creators on your show, it would get some new eyes on your comics. Maybe. I don't know. I think normally the bigger creators that you want to have on your Comic Talk Tuesdays, more often than not, they're too big to really even get on your channel because they're too big. And you also have to wonder, like, who's going to be searching for an interview with this guy? And is my channel really going to show up first in the sea of other channels they've possibly done interviews with? Other bigger channels they've possibly done interviews with? Hey, Renee, you made it! Woo! Welcome to Friday with Dannphan. Maybe an hour later? I could go later. You should do 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't know how you do streams that long. That shit's crazy. I can't do that. It absolutely wears me out. Let's see. Have you seen the live-action trailer for the Yaira comic and what are your thoughts on it? I haven't, although I saw that that was kind of going viral on Twitter. The new comic from the Rippaverse. It's very cool that they're able to put together like really hype trailers. If I had a bigger budget, I'd be super down with doing an animated trailer, fully animated, like cool action sequence trailer for each one of the comics that I come out with. But we gotta work with what we got. Not everything can break the bank, obviously. Especially when you don't really have enough time to really produce such a trailer, because with animation, it's like a whole other different art form that you have to enter to. It's a whole other project. It actually does require a lot of attention and production value, even though it's just being done for promotion, you know? So sometimes that's a little bit nerve-wracking to have to also split your time between drawing the actual comic and then, like, producing an animated trailer for that comic. But yeah, I did consider doing that for Reaper. I kinda, what's the word I'm looking for? I kinda ended up not going through with it. Because, well, first of all, there was time to consider. Like I said, it's hard to really split your attention up between an animated trailer and also actually doing the comic. And I think the comic takes priority over creating a full animated trailer. And the trailer that I did end up coming out with was super put together last minute because I spent a lot of time just not really knowing what to do. Which is a shame, but it could have been worse. Keep in mind. I've gotten used to streams being later. I've been expecting around that time. Okay, well that's fair. I mean, if more people are expecting the streams to be later, then I should be going later, right? I don't want to step on anybody else's toes, of course. Like other streamers that are doing it later. I don't want to get in their way, exactly. I'm not exactly the type of person who can compete with some other channels. But, you know, the time I'm doing right now is kind of a little unusually early, considering. I think 6 o'clock was the original time that I used to do Fridays with Dannphan streams, and they would get some pretty good traffic. Not that I've seen a huge dip in traffic since I started doing it earlier or anything, but, you know. I've never... I usually never do streams extra late, though. I mean, there was the launch party, but that was kind of a special thing that it was that late. I would normally not stream that late unless I was doing the Dannphan streams. Glad I brought up water. That was a good call. I feel that I've been working on a webcomic for months now, and I don't know how much time I could dedicate to something like animation. Oh yeah. It's a big thing. It really is important. Especially, you know, because if you're gonna spend a lot of money on an animated trailer for something, you want it to look fucking good, you know? You want it to look really good. Because it's like representing your work. Even though it's a different art form, it still is representing the other thing. Making a trailer that is good is very important. That's how you're selling people most of the time. If you can get someone on live that has a decent audience, they'll show up on your chat. Well, I mean, I'm up for suggestions. But, you know, like I said, I do want to do the Comic Talk Tuesdays. And I do have a couple people that I'd love to have talking on live with me. It's just a matter of trying to, well, first of all, get in contact with said people. And then, second of all, like, actually trying to find a time where we can record something or stream something. Everyone has their own time zones to consider. Everyone has their own schedule to consider. Not everyone can make it on a Tuesday. And that's why most of the Comic Talk Tuesdays that have already been uploaded on the channel, they're all pre-recorded. Pre-recorded mostly because we just can't we can't really synchronize on an actual time on Tuesday. Or if we do, it's like pretty rare. And there's, you know, sometimes it's my fault. I'm not blaming just other people. Sometimes it's my fault. I can't make it to a Tuesday sometimes. There's other stuff to be done, etc., etc. Thanks for the $5, Captain Hyrule. Who would win in a slap fight between Ichabod and Oliver from this? A slap fight, specifically? That's a very goofy question, you know? Oliver has the lucky suit. That is something to consider. And Ichabod, he's doing some smoking. I don't know, he might die from a heart attack. Don't smoke, kids. Alright, there's your goofy answer. Hey, thanks for the $10. Dom says, ooh, sheeny. I believe you meant shiny, but yes. I would love to do an animated trailer for Dannphan. I would love to have animated trailers. I would love to do animation in general, of course. Of course! That's like 90% of like the comic artist's dream is to eventually have like an animated show based on their comic that they also get to work on simultaneously. Or like have some sort of part in, you know? You don't want someone to just buy your IP and then make a bastardization of your story or anything, but if you get the anime deal, right, you get to work on the comic and have it faithfully adapted into animated adaptation, and all you have to worry about is like producing the chapters that they later on animate. It's like the best, right? That's the best. And then the animated show helps sell the comic. I love the anime manga formula that they have over in Japan. I wish we had a better formula like that here. We have a similar formula. It's not exact, it's not one-to-one with what Japan has. But I would love it. I would love it if we had a very concrete animation production that was heavily tied into comics. We don't really. I mean, it's a possibility that an animated series will come out based on a comic, but you know, it doesn't happen nearly as often as in Japan. And most of the time it's all tied to the same universe and stuff like that. I have trailers planned for my comic. I haven't started making it yet, though. Well, I'll be excited to see it when it's ready. The campaign would have made that without the trailer. Trailer was garbage. Oh, you're referring to the Rippaverse comic. I was about to say, like, my trailer? Was my trailer that bad? No, I understand what you're saying. Oliver has insane luck. Don't underestimate him. Oh yeah. It's all thanks to that lucky suit. Gotta go for the pinstripes, guys. That's how you get the luck. I loved the Reaper animated thing you did the other day. Let me see. Now, which thing was that? I actually did do... I had, like, mini animations, right? Let me actually show you my screen. Sometimes I forget that you can't just see my screen unless I hit a specific thing, right? So there's this. This was like kind of a mini animation that I had done. As you can see, it was like kind of tweening. I didn't do it myself. Same thing with the logo animation. I just like hired somebody else to do it. But they did a decent job. I like the Lupin. I like the chill attitude. It's nice. And then there's another one that was a fan actually sent to me. And that was also pretty nice. Is this one it? Yeah, there it is. So this was actually like a fan animation that Ryan Gillen sent to me. Of course, because he's always sending in the fan animations, and it's awesome. It's good. I especially love the effect on the souls. Super sick. Should have hired him to do my animated trailer. Like, what is he doing? Doing this stuff for free. He could be making money. But yeah. So it's not like I didn't do anything animated for Reaper. Obviously, a fully animated trailer where like it looks like an anime, that would be top tier stuff. But you know. Cut out animation for his arms. Oh, that looks good. Oh, cool. I like that animation. That's awesome too. Oh, he did great. Fanimations, if you will. Yeah, thank you. The Fanimations. Of course. It's like when they say Japanimation. The Fanimation. That's like a super old term too. You ever hear about Japanimation? It's before we started saying anime. Some people would say Japanimation. But yeah. So for the actual, oh my god, have I not been playing? It just occurred to me. We've all been just sitting in silence. I haven't been playing any music. I'm so sorry. Let me just put on some smooth jazz for you guys. I didn't realize how loud it was for the last drawing stream I did, because I can't really hear it that well on my laptop, but I also know that my vocal volume is lower than it usually is during the streams. And, you know, part of it is just, I don't know how fucking microphones work, so I just plug it in and hope for the best, you know? But, yeah, do feel free to tell me if I ever blast fucking music in the background and you can't hear my voice, especially during those, drawing streams. Because, you know, I don't know if it was very clear on that drawing stream, but I was actually facing away from the mic while I was drawing. It wasn't in front of me, it was like to the side. So, yeah. I apologize for not making it as good of a drawing stream as it could have been. We'll do better on the next one. We'll have some things figured out. Part of the issue was I was gonna have like a dual screen setup where the chat is on my monitor here, and then the actual Clip Studio file was on my tablet. The issue with that is that whenever I went to draw on my tablet, it would only move the mouse on this screen. It wouldn't move the mouse on the other screen. I don't know why. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that problem on a tablet. But because I didn't know why it was doing that, I kind of asked Adam for help, and, you know, he doesn't have a tablet. He's not gonna really... We tried a couple things, but we just couldn't get it to work. So I ended up having to just duplicate the screen instead. And we'll try to maybe figure it out next time. See if we can separate the screens. I had the same problem with my one touchscreen. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Not sure what it is, but hopefully we can figure that out. Because I would like to actually have the chat in front of me while I'm doing the drawing streams. Because I want to be able to actually know what you're saying. You guys are important. And I kind of need you, in a way, so that I can keep a conversation going. Because otherwise I'll just go into my own world. My drawing mode, right? Because I'm not often talking to people while I'm drawing pages. So you turn on worker mode and then you just stop talking entirely. That's part of the reason why we need the chat. We need it. And I would love to do many more drawing streams if we can get it working properly. But right now I'm not really sure what the issue actually is. Instead of making an animated trailer, have you considered having an animated scene as a crowdfunding perk? That seems like it would be more profitable, could then be released on YouTube at a later date. That's tough. A lot of people who try to fund animated projects, they have a tough time unless they're already in the animation industry and have a poll and have like a whole audience that really loves animation. They have a real tough time trying to fund an animated project. And it's expensive. It's more expensive than you would think. Like even like a minute of animation could be like over $1,000. It could be a lot. More often than not, it is a lot. It is a lot of money to do an animated trailer. It's a real investment, you know? So, don't get me wrong, it's an investment that I would love to make. But it needs to be worth it. That's the real thing. It really needs to be worth it. I don't want to just constantly be blowing money for my own self-indulgence. Even though I do that quite often, I don't want to do it too often. I don't want to do it too much, because then I'm just not going to get anywhere, you know? That's not ideal. But sure, that is a possibility. It would have to be a very high goal, though, and it would have to be a short animated thing. But, you know, there are options out there. You're right. There are options. Do you have Reaper Book 2 ready to work on? Well, pretty close. Did I already send you an extended preview? Oh, you're on Subscribestar, so you already know everything that there is to know. But yes, I started on Book 2. You know, it's the saddest thing. It's the saddest thing, really. When I first wrote Reaper Book 1, I was already starting on Book 2 while I was still receiving feedback on Book 1. And the hard drive died. And all the work that I had done on Book 2, gone forever. But I still had Book 1 because I shared it with other people. I didn't share Book 2 with other people. So all of those files are just gone. I didn't get that far in it, don't get me wrong. It's not a huge loss. And I did start working on some sketches for Book 2 from scratch again when I was actually inking up Book 1. It's a little bit different than my original version, but it's different in a good way. So, not a huge loss. But yes, technically I have started on Book 2. It's not even close to being done, and I think that the overall story needs a bunch of polish to it. I want to get done at least a first draft, have that shown to some people, given some feedback on it, and then we can start working on book 2 more officially. And then, of course, there's also Sonic City Witch to get done. I gotta redo all the shading and lettering on that, which I'm not really looking forward to, because I hate redoing work, but gotta get it done. Hard drive loss. Never forget the hard drive loss. It's the saddest moment in my whole life. It didn't die again. It's the first time when it died. I had Reaper already. I just didn't announce it until last year. But I've been working on Reaper for a long time. It's just, you know, it was a big project. So I didn't want to actually let people know about it until it was ready. I should have had that same attitude with Sonic City Witch. Because that is another huge project that I announced way too early. And it shows by the fact that years later, we're just now beginning to wrap up Sonic City Witch. But it's okay. It's okay. Everything's gonna get done. Everything's gonna be fixed. We're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen VTubers talk about paying over $10,000 for a few minutes of animation for projects they do. Yep, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. If somebody gave me like 4 million or whatever, what is it, like $48 million, a lot of those 12 episode animated series go for, something like that was quoted, I would totally do a Reaper animated series. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't pass up that opportunity. Or at least I wouldn't pass it up so long as it was like a good opportunity. If they're giving me a shitty deal, obviously. But I would love to do it. I know I sound very full of myself saying that when I haven't even reached my goal on Indiegogo, which you should back. You should back it. Please. Please back it. Yeah, you never... Exactly, you never get over a hard drive loss. It always hurts forever. Well, the funny thing is, it's still affecting me now, to this day. Because there were so many projects that I had, like, started up for a future date with releasing. There's an entire comic. Actually, there's two. There's 2 comics that I just dropped entirely. Because I had some pages cooked up for them, right? But, and, I think I have shared them. But, you know. At the end of the day, I just decided, do I really want to redo the work on this? And is it really worth redoing the work on it? And I just decided, no, not worth it. So I just hit the red buzzer on that. Forget about it. Forget about it. Working on too many comics all at once in the first place. And, you know, I just didn't think that they were worth saving. Are those comics on Subscribestar? I think one of them is. And I think the other one I just shared with, like, some close friends. It's okay. It's alright. There's no limit on, like, creativity as far as ideas go for me. Some people, they want to get into writing, but they don't have any ideas whatsoever. It's fine. When I started off, I didn't have any ideas either. I knew that it was something I wanted to do, but I didn't really know how to break from tropes or, like, really do something that felt uniquely like my story. You know what I mean? Don't have that problem anymore. Now I feel like I'm constantly just, like, overwhelmed with tons of ideas that I enjoy. And because of that, I feel, like, confident in being able to let go certain ideas and just decide, you know, this might be something really worth doing right now. There might not be an audience for it right now. Tuck it away, and if I ever feel like going back to it, I can, but just not today, you know? Reaper is a big one that I feel fairly confident in, which I know, like, once again, maybe I sound pretty full of myself because I haven't even reached the goal. But I still feel confident in Reaper. I feel confident in the story. I feel like it's really solid. Could I do better art-wise? Absolutely. But I've gotten much better at art over the years. And I know that each book is gonna look better than the one before it, etc., etc., as I keep on going and as I keep writing it. And there are plenty of even manga series that started off with fairly rough art that improved or changed stylistically as it went on. So I don't think it'll be that jarring either if you know, book 1, it's kind of mediocre, but then like book 7 or whatever, it's like, whoa, look at the art. It's fine. It's alright. The important thing is that it is improving and that it's not staying stagnant. You know? Ah, man. Want me to regale you with the tale of the best worst Wacom tablet ever. The legend of Dannphan Squeaker. It scratched and squeaked with every stroke, calling forth tormented souls. Oh yeah, definitely. The squeaker is not being used anymore, by the way. I'm using the XP pen. And so far, no squeaking. No squeaking from that one. Funny how that works, huh? Although I will say the pen tips, like butter. Like absolute butter. They're, like, the one that I'm drawing with is already worn down quite a bit. I don't think of myself as someone who presses down very hard when I'm drawing. I don't really think of myself that way. I think the tablet disagrees. But whatever. It's not worn down that badly, but you know, it's like, goddamn, is it already slanted? I've been drawing with it for like 2 weeks and it's already like visible that I've been drawing with it? Damn. Calm down, arm. Jeez. But yes, yeah. The squeaker is gone. I've been asking people if they know anyone who would want it. Like I said, it's not something I want. I'm done with the Wacom tablet, but if somebody else wanted to put a screen protector over it to negate the squeaking and they could use it themselves, certainly they could do that. But right now I don't really know a lot of people besides me who are really doing art, you know, I mean, not in person. Let me clear the air. Not in person, I don't know many artists around. But maybe someone online if they want to pay for shipping. Cause goddamn shipping, you know what I mean? Or maybe I could sell it. I could try to recoup some of the costs. That would be the most ideal, I suppose, but donate it to an art school, specifically one you hate. Well, yeah, you know what? I could write that off on my taxes. Donate it to an art school. Not a bad idea. Thank you for the new pen fund, David. Give it away as a perk for a future campaign. That would be a curse. I don't know. I do have screen protectors now. I bought a couple. I was able to actually apply one of them to my new tablet with minimal bubbles, but the air bubbles are quite something. They're quite something. I don't like them. Not a fan, but yeah, the screen. There's something. Alternatively, have a congregation of wizards banish it into another dimension. Yes, yes. Send it to your enemies. Yeah, exactly, right? Send it to the person that does boyfriend. The ultimate revenge. Good suggestions all around. That's why I keep you guys around. Very helpful. Just got here. What happened to your pen? Sorry. We went on a tangent talking about the squeaker. That's all. That's all you need to know. We're done talking about the squeaker, though. Now, was there anything else that I needed to talk to you guys about? I don't think so. I think it was mostly just me complaining about Indiegogo, right? While simultaneously telling you guys to back my campaign on Indiegogo, right? That I briefly talked about Akira Toriyama. I know I said his name wrong. Excuse me. And then I talked about the squeaker. Wait, something came up before the squeaker. Oh yeah, I was talking about animated trailers. Animation. How I would love to do animation, but it's too goddamn expensive. Yeah. But, yeah. That's fine. Squeaky me squeaking. Yeah, you know it. You know it. I mean, the hour is almost up, but I gotta say, that went by very quickly. That was a surprisingly quick hour of Friday with Dannphan. I guess that's what happens when you just rant for the entire stream. But please do, if you have anything else that you'd like to ask me, or something that I didn't go over for this stream, something that you feel like you need some answers on, please do. Give it in the chatty chat. I'll go through some like last minute questions or topics that you want me to cover before I actually hit the red button and head off of here to go do more work on pages for Reaper. Yay! How many pages do I have left to do? Let me see, because it's actually kind of hard to tell because I've been adding a lot of pages. Sometimes last minute, sometimes I have them planned, but I didn't actually, like, add them yet. It was on, that's the page, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Huh. Is that actually right? Did I miscount? I might have miscounted. Because I thought it was 30. Well, okay. Well, the last 2 pages I counted were the preview to the next book. Or, which, you know, obviously I'm still in the drafting stages with. But it's a pretty short preview. It's only 2 pages, obviously. So, really, it's more like 30 pages if you're not including those, since that's, I guess, kind of extra material. That's a lot. Still, though, that's still a lot of pages to do. God damn it, I shouldn't have added in all those extra pages. You see what the issue is? When I first was drafting Reaper, the idea was to get the story across in a smaller amount of pages. Originally, I was thinking this was going to be more like an 80-page book. Same thing with Sonic City Witch. At first, I thought it was going to be like kind of a shorter graphic novel. Nope, didn't end up happening. It's like even on the campaign page, I say like 100 pages. I think this is turning out to be more than 100 pages, at least altogether. Because I keep on seeing these scenes that go by way too quickly. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta slow this down. And then when I slow it down, I'm like, ooh, I could do a little bit of a lore drop here. I could talk about a little bit of the lore without breaking from the scene. Because now that it's slowed down, I can fit it in, you know? Ooh. And then I end up adding 2 pages instead of just the 1. And then it's... but, you know. Getting close to the end of the winter anime season, what's worth watching now? Well, definitely Freerun if you haven't been watching that. Let's see what we got. What else is on? Let's see, Blue Exorcist, Illuminati Saga. I remember reading that in the manga. Pretty okay. Delicious in Dungeon. I'm a little bit sus on Delicious in Dungeon with some of the choices that they made, but it does have sick animation, and I did enjoy the manga, and for the most part, it has been pretty close to what the manga was. So I won't write it off just because of some changes here and there. I do have to finish it, but, you know, well, whatever. Fucking Netflix, am I right? What else? Bottom tier character Tomozaki. I watched a couple episodes of this second season. I gotta say, it's a little bit boring. I enjoyed the first season for the most part. Nothing is better than the first episode, of course, but it's whatever. What else? How has Solo Leveling been? I'm not a reader of the webcomic. Me and Adam wanted to check it out, the anime. I heard maybe there's some censorship going on there. Haven't watched it yet, but we'll see. Unwanted Undead Adventurer. I guess I don't think there's gonna be a dub of that, but I do want to watch it. The issue is I can't have it on in the background if it's not dubbed because I can't read subtitles while working on manga. While working on my comic. But there's a few things that I've been checking out. How does one even figure out how many pages they need? Well, you just gotta spitball, really. I started off with a Reaper draft that was, I think, less than 80 pages. Like, maybe the first draft. And I just kept on adding pages, and now we're going for, like, what seems to be over 100. Which is fine. I mean, it's... A normal manga volume is like 200. So it's not like it's really thick or even comparable to what most manga is, but oh my god, it's a lot of work when you're doing it all by yourself. Gotta say. Do you have a ship date in mind for Reaper? Yes. So unfortunately, I was hoping to get done a page every day for Reaper, and I have not been achieving that. As you can see by the fact that I just counted like 30 pages that I have left to do of this god dang. Ow, it's so fucking long. Part of it is, you know, I got other jobs to do. I'm trying to do videos on YouTube to promote the actual campaign, since Indiegogo is not really helping me in that department. Brutal. It's fucking brutal finding time doing videos, editing the videos and stuff like that, and then doing the streams, and then drawing and writing the actual book that you're trying to promote. So, it's gonna take me at least another month to actually finish it. I'm also waiting on some, like, I was commissioning some chapter art from other artists that I thought would be fun to feature. So that's another product to put in there. And then I gotta actually send it to the printer, wait for it to get printed, sent back to me. And that's usually a couple weeks, or 2 weeks to 4 weeks, they usually quote. It normally does not take 4 weeks, though. And based on the pre-orders that we got on Indiegogo, it's looking like it's going to be a small run, tragically. Maybe the second run I'll redo the cover or something, if we get a second print. I'm so full of myself, aren't I? Haven't even reached the goal, and I'm talking about like a second edition. Look at me. What software do you use for this comic? CSP, Photoshop? Definitely Clip Studio Paint. I haven't used Photoshop in years. I have been told by other people who do use Photoshop that it's gone really downhill, and that it doesn't really hold a candle to CSP. There's other comic making programs out there that are trying to compete with Clip Studio. There's a Bang one. What is it called? I forget what it was called. Was it Jump Paint or something like that? Let me look up what that was. It shouldn't be too hard to find. They're always like promoting it. Or maybe it is hard to find because I don't actually see them. Oh yes, it is Jump Paint. Jump Paint. That's what they're calling it. And this is supposed to be competitive to Clip Studio Paint, from what I understand. Practice with samples with the editorial department. Never have trouble creating panels again. Study techniques, etc., etc. It doesn't look nearly as good as Clip Studio Paint, don't get me wrong. I'm not about to jump ship on Jump Paint, but I think it's very interesting that they're trying to start up a competitor to Clip Studio, because it's already such a, oh my god, Clip Studio is so good. The one thing that the whole update pass that they started up fucking blows. It fucking blows. I was kind of on their side at first. I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Sure, so long as the updates include features that I actually want. It sounds fine. Whatever. Fucking blows. It sucks. They have their features all out of whack. They just now, for version 3.0, they just now decided to add in circular text. Thing worthwhile on that newest update. Everything else, unneeded. Unnecessary, nobody asked for. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They should have had circular text as part of the program years ago. Upon launch, they should have had circular text to be a thing. Now they think I'm going to pay extra money to get that circular text? I don't think so. It's not happening. I updated once. I paid for one of the updates because I was curious about some of the new features that they were including. Mistake. You know what? I'll admit it. It was a mistake. Because I didn't realize that the update was going to make it so that I had to be online to use the program. The worst. The worst thing ever. I hate it when programs do that. When they're like, actually, you can't work on your comic because you're not connected to the internet. The fuck do I download you for? It's like, if that's gonna be the case, then why don't I just do all my art on a browser? Oh, I know why. Because not everybody's gonna be able to have the internet wherever they do their work. It's like every time I'm on like some sort of vacation, I can't bring my work with me. Because the Wi-Fi is shit. It's always shit when you go to a hotel. It's bad. It's bad. Don't like it. So I'm looking to actually downgrade Clip Studio so that I don't have to worry about that anymore. The features that I got were not equivalent to having to only be online. Wasn't a worthy exchange. So sorry to call out CSP on that one. But I'm very disappointed in that additional, oh, now you have to be online to use it because you decided to update. Fuck you. It's garbage. It's garbage. Like, what did I get out of that? The ability to create a custom 3D model face? Oh, but it's not attached to a body. I have to drag the 3D model face onto a body. Okay. Stupid. You stupid. We'll wait for update 4.0 to get that option. So no, it wasn't an equivalent exchange, and no, I would not recommend for most people out there to actually pay for the updates, or even the update pass. Because all of the new features that they're cooking in to the updates, most of them are half-baked ideas. Most of them are still like in beta stages, that it's not worth money, because it's not finished. They haven't perfected it yet. And they're just like trying to shove it into the next update so that they can like make you believe that it's working and worth money. But it's not. Sucks. Sucks dick. And then you have to surrender being able to use the program whenever you want. Because now you have to be online. You gotta be online to use the program. Because we're a bunch of pieces of shit. Garbage. I don't hate the company, but this was a big fail on their part because the updates are not worth it. But yeah, all right. So I guess is that now that I've gone on my third rant of the live stream, I guess we can kind of wrap up this live stream. I think we had a couple good rants in there. You know what? We went on for like an hour and 20 minutes. That's good. That's pretty decent. Yeah, I like Clip Studio Paint, but you know what? You just gotta keep the base version. The base version, best version. Don't have to be online to use it. And I'm not gonna be online when I'm doing my work all the time. It's just, what if the internet goes out? Oh, sorry. Guess you just can't do your work. Like, I have a laptop with a battery. But it don't matter. Can't do my work because I'm not online. I hate it. There's so many things wrong with it, okay? So I could rant about it for a whole other additional hour onto this live stream. But we're not going to do that. We don't need to do that. I've done my rants. I've done my complaints. We don't need to complain about everything, of course. I don't mean to seem like Miss Negative. Hey, you know what's not a negative thing? My dark fan for my fantastic new comic series that I'm very excited about finishing. Even though it's going to take a while to finish, but you know what? I'll keep you updated on me finishing this comic to the best of my abilities. We're going to try to keep on getting the videos pumped out there so that we can keep on promoting it. Doing my best, right? Doing my best. It's a lot of work. A lot of work doing like all the different things at the same time. But it's all going to be worth it in the end. Because we'll have a new comic series coming out. Sorry, got a little hiccup there. And you guys, I do believe you're going to like it. I think I did a pretty good job with book one, with selling people on the series. And I know Adam, he got done reading book one. He got down to like the preview of book two, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a good place to end it there. That's how you're going to sell people on the next book. Good job. And I was like, yay. And he's... Anyway, so, thank you guys for joining me on another Friday with Dannphan. Join us again next Friday for more unhinged ranting from your best girl. I'll try to get some more videos up, of course. There's a lot of things I'd love to talk about in videos. And maybe another drawing stream or maybe a Comic Talk Tuesday. I'll keep you updated on that too. I'm trying to kind of work out a stream with somebody, but you know, not really 100% on the date or the time. So we'll see how it works. I'll do a community announcement if it's locked in. If not locked in, you can probably expect another drawing stream. So, thank you guys. Have a good night. Possibly Game Fan stream, don't know. That's why you have to subscribe to both channels. You know, you're not going to know about the Game Fan stream if you're not subscribed to both channels. That's how it goes. Alright, good night everybody. Thank you. Good night.